everybody, it's Miss Michelle from Apple Country Music Together, here to make a rain stick with you. Isn't that cool? Yeah. So many cool sounds. I'm going to show you how to make one at home. Here are the things you're going to need. You're going to need a cardboard tube. Here's one from a paper towel roll. Here's one from a toilet paper roll. It doesn't matter what size. You're going to need a permanent black marker or a pencil or a ballpoint pen. You'll need some paper or artwork. Here's some artwork I got from some of my students in class. I used that to cover this rain stick. Or you can make your own artwork, and I'll show you how to do that too. You're also going to need some tin foil and something to put into the rain stick to make sound. We'll also need scissors, tape, maybe some scotch tape, and some elastics. You can use any tape that you like. All right, let's get started. I'm going to use this paper towel tube. So once you figure out what tube you want, you need some artwork. Make sure it's the right size for your tube. This one fits perfectly. Now let's say you'd like to make your own artwork. Let's pretend that you're outside after a big rainstorm. What do you see crawling on the street? That's right, worms. So let's make some worm tracks, okay? Maybe you see a worm going straight across the road like this. Or maybe another worm is going the other way. There's another worm that wants to go in a wiggly pattern. This one's going to go in a jaggy pattern. I've got another worm that likes to travel in curls and make loop-de-loops. You can make as many worm tracks as you want. And then you have a whole bunch of shapes that you can color in. You can use crayons or markers. Color each shape in a different color. Then you get a really cool picture that looks kind of like stained glass. Here's one that I made earlier with magic markers. Once you have the artwork you want, put it on your tube just like that. Remember, you might need to cut one a little bit smaller. Cut your paper smaller if you're using a smaller tube. Or use several pieces, maybe different artwork together if you're using a long tube. So take a couple of pieces of scotch tape and tape your artwork onto your tube nice and straight. Then curl it around so that your artwork is laying flat against your tube. And then you can tape it again. You can use scotch tape or you can use colorful tape. Maybe you can use stickers. Okay, how do we get that sound inside? Not just by putting beads inside an empty tube, then it travels down too quickly. So what you're going to need is some tin foil. Make sure you get a piece of tin foil that is at least 2 or 3 times as long as your tube. I already ripped off a piece, and then I took it and I crunched it up, and I'll show you what I mean. I crunched up a long skinny piece and I made it into a long skinny worm. Now take that piece, and what you're going to do is you're going to curl it and make it into a curl. If you find that your piece isn't long enough, you can attach it to another piece of tin foil. Squeeze it up and then make a curl. You want your curl to be a little bit skinnier than your tube, not too skinny and not wider. If it's wider, it won't fit in. Now you've got your little wiggle worm all curled up. Stick it into your tube. If you're using a really long tube and you're finding it hard to get it in there, you can tie a piece of string on the end and then drop the string through the tube first and then pull the whole thing through gently. So now, as you can see, my wiggle worm is completely in my tube. Now Now we need to cap each end so that the things that we put in to make the rain don't fall out. I like to use tin foil. So you can either just use a square small piece or maybe cut it into a circle so it fits the end. Put it on the end, and then you can either tape it or use elastic. Just like this. So it's nice and tight. Okay. Make sure you have another piece ready to go for the top. Now comes the fun part. Find a tray, something that'll catch your rice or beans or pebbles in case they don't make it into your tube. And now you can fill your tube. I love that sound. I'm going to add a few chickpeas too. And maybe a few pebbles. So that I have all different sounds. If you use an elastic on at least one side of your tube, you can open it up and change the things that are in there to change the sound. On this side, I'm going to show you how to put a piece of tape. So I've ripped a piece of duct tape, and then I ripped it in half the skinny way, because I don't want it to cover too much of my artwork. Now I'm just going to put it right around the edge of my tin foil. Make sure it's nice and tight. And here we go. Ready? Rain, rain, go away. Come again another day. Everybody wants to play. Rain,